It's safe to say that Marvel Phase 4 and 5 is going to be absolute insanity. Things are already tipping in that direction with everything from WandaVision and Falcon and the Winter Soldier and now Loki. Welcome everybody, Jimmy or Chaos here, and welcome to the channel. Big spoiler alert, because I'm sure we will spoil something when it comes to any one of these Disney Plus shows, because we're going to talk about a lot of them, and we're going to talk about the endings of Black Widow, and we are going to talk about the Dark Avengers. So, spoiler alert has been issued. Thank you to everybody who subscribed to the channel. Make sure you guys have those notifications turned on, and welcome to the team. So, let's talk about the Dark Avengers and how Kevin Feige has basically confirmed it without confirming it. Well, he's kind of confirmed it. That's what he does. We'll get into that here in a minute. But the Dark Avengers, they're coming. They are. And we've been talking about this and speculating about this for a long time. And it's hard to keep a handle on everything that's going on. We have Spider-Man No Way Home coming. We have Loki, which has obviously just shattered everything and opened up the entire multiverse, which opens up Marvel's creativity to another level. They can literally do anything with any timeline they want to do. That's how things are just going to go off the rails even further before we ever get back to any type of continuity, which may never happen. Let's be real. So, let's talk about the Dark Avengers. First, who are the Dark Avengers? What's the roster of the Dark Avengers? Well, in the comics, there were multiple versions of them, and there was a lot of people involved, mainly with Norman Osborn leading the way. And he was Iron Patriot, but there was multiple people posing as actual Avengers when it came to being on that roster. I mean, you had Venom. You had Bullseye. And so many different characters posing as the Earth's mightiest heroes. I mean, you had U.S. Agent John Walker. We won't even get into Norman Osborn's version of the X-Men that he made. That, who knows where that could go down the line. But there were so many Dark Avengers on the roster posing as their counterparts. So really, I mean, the slate is empty. The Marvel and MCU can basically do whatever they want with this. We've already gotten teasers for this. We already knew something was happening. Heck, let's go all the way down the wormhole and say Scar is one of the Dark Avengers who we haven't even met yet. But that is Hulk's son, who was born on Sakaar. Yeah, you remember Sakaar? Thor Ragnarok? Yeah. There's a lot to unpack if you actually want to dive into the lineage, if you will, of the Dark Avengers. But let's kind of just jump over here. You get the idea. You probably already know. The Dark Avengers are the dark version of the Avengers. They were villains in the comics who posed as their, I guess you could say, their courageous counterparts. Now, I think it's going to be a little different in the MCU. I think it's going to be a more government-driven type deal. I don't know if it's going to have connections to Hydra or not, but I think it's going to be a more political, government-driven squad. Villainous, yes, but kind of in a different manner. But that is still, that remains to be seen. So, we already knew this was coming to a degree. At the end of Falcon and the Winter Soldier, we got blessed with Valentina Allegra de Fontaine. And if you don't know who that is none other than Julia Dreyfus from Seinfeld, which is absolutely amazing. Everybody, the internet broke when they saw that she was involved, and she was, of course, recruiting U.S. Agent John Walker. That was our first kind of sniff, if you will, that the Dark Avengers were coming. He ended with his suit, his black suit, everything just made sense. And then we got to Black Widow. And we got the post-credit scene with Black Widow, where Yelena Belova was, at the end, she was on holiday, she was visiting her sister's gravesite, and then none other than Miss Fontaine, or De Fontaine shows up to talk to her again, and kind of gets her crosshairs pointed at Hawkeye, which we'll find out more about that in Hawkeye's Disney Plus series. But you could tell right there that Yelena had already been working for Fontaine. So what is she working for? What are they doing with her? Well, everybody is speculating and assuming that she's part of this government-built Dark Avengers group. Are they going to be called the Dark Avengers? Probably not, but you guys get the idea. You get the vibe that is going with this, right? And we don't have Norman Osborn in the MCU, so at this moment, we've got Miss Allegra de Fontaine, and that's kind of our counterpart to Nick Fury, if you will. And that's what the Dark Avengers were all about, having that villainous dark counterpart to the good side. It's kind of like the yin and the yang, the good and the bad, the dark and the light, the light side and the dark side. You guys get it, right? You already know where we're going with this. So what happens next? Well, the MCU and Marvel, they like to depict things their own way. So instead of just having a full roster of Dark Avengers that are the evil counterparts disguised as heroes, why not bring in some conflicted heroes to join the Dark Avengers, baby? That's what Fontaine is going to be doing. I mean, look at Yelena Belova. She's conflicted. Everybody likes her. She's got good intents, right? But she's going to be, she's going to end up working on the wrong side of what she needs to be if she's going to be going after Hawkeye, which I don't know how long that'll last before she comes back over to where she needs to be. But what other conflicted heroes are out there that Fontaine could go after? Well, Scarlet Witch, I would say. I know she's going to be tied into Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, but she was pretty conflicted at the end of WandaVision. What about White Vision? I mean, he flew off into the cloud and we never heard of him again. There you go. That's another conflicted one that has to find his place, if you will. So you get your Iron Man out of Armor Wars, and then you get a couple conflicted heroes to come over at least for a little while. Boom. You've got the Dark Avengers, and who knows where that actually goes. I don't know what Val's master plan is going to be, but it's definitely a recruiting type plan, which was confirmed by none other than Marvel Studios president Kevin Feige. Well, in his own way, that's how he does things. In a recent interview, I quote, "Yes, she is. She seems to be in recruitment mode," he teased when he was asked about Val. And he says, "Does Yelena already work for her?" They seem to have a connection at this point. Yes. And he goes on to say, "The notion of bringing her into the world was always something. If we could find that right thing, was something we wanted to do. And when this role came about and the opportunity to have her in Black Widow and the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, well, it happened. And maybe in some other things coming up." So right there, maybe in some other things coming up, and she's doing something. She's in recruitment mode. That's all the confirmation you need from the head of Marvel himself. She's recruiting a team. It's a government team that may actually have deeper layers that have to do with Hydra. Who knows what exactly she's recruiting for or why? It all points to the Dark Avengers. So if I had to guess, I would say that eventually, and we already know we're getting the Secret Invasion Disney Plus series, eventually we're going to see a fully formed roster for Miss Fontaine, and we're going to see how it actually plays out. Like I said, things are going to be crazy in Phase 4 and Phase 5 when it comes to the MCU. Should we even call it the MCU? Should we call it the MCM? I don't know. You guys, let me know what you think. Thank you for watching. Let me know what you think is going to happen, and specifically, who is going to be on this Dark Avenger roster. And I would really like to see Scar somehow in this. Hulk's son from Sakaar, it all makes sense. You know they set this up. Thor Ragnarok, She-Hulk, the Disney Plus series is coming. Give us Hulk's baby. I'll see you guys soon.